unsettling. So you know the basketball superstar Caitlin Clark.
The greatest development for the WNBA in decades may be Caitlin Clark. Additionally, a lawyer who really understands the regulations claims that although the league cashes her checks and grins for the cameras, her rights are being violated. We are talking about a toxic workplace, disregarded poultry, and a degree of targeting more appropriate for a lousy streetball game than a professional league. If you appreciate this content, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 83% of viewers haven't subscribed yet. It's free and only takes a second, but it means the world to us. So, did you subscribe already? Great. Thank you so much for your support. Now, back to the video.
So you know the basketball superstar Caitlin Clark. She is in the Women's National Basketball Association. Big star, huge star, brilliant player. Okay, she's on the Indiana team. Now, 64% of the WNBA is black. All right, Caitlin Clark comes in and is immediately the biggest star in the league. Immediately. And merchandising in every other way. Apparently, there's some jealousy that might be manifesting itself into physical inappropriate conduct.
Would the referees or the league overlook this if it happened to any other elite player in another league? Let us get started, since the WNBA's remarks, figures, and silence all paint an unflattering picture. Caitlin Clark is not a bench player pleading for playing time to start. It is the second year. She is the face of the Indiana Fever, the primary reason WNBA retail sales are so high, and the sole reason lower bowl seats are being filled in certain venues. Since her arrival, the league app's engagement has increased by more than 600%. 400% more subscriptions. The team worth of the Fever increased thrice. It is not hype. This is cash. Real, quantifiable jerseys are selling quickly.
Myth on it. Go.
You got people that are resentful towards her. But it's really not about her, guys. It's about what she represents. Before she ever came along, there were a lot of outstanding basketball players who happened to be black females that was doing their thing on the WNBA level. And they never got this kind of shine. This girl, the Golden Goose, comes along.
Nevertheless, the league is allowing her to be hacked, pushed, and taken by surprise like she is the new kid at open gym, even though she is making the money.
But I could be wrong. Joining us now from England is Sean McLean. He's the founder of Origin Advocacy. He wrote a piece in a Wall Street Journal about all this that caught my attention. Number one, what's Origin Advocacy? What is that?
Origin Advocacy is a Washington, D.C. based consulting and lobbying firm. We help clients figure out how to best engage the federal government.
Okay, so you're basically a consultant to various individuals. Is there an ideology attached to you?
So I worked in government for nearly 15 years. So I'm very limited government. I'm conservative. I worked for Marsha Blackburn, Ted Cruz, and in the Trump administration, including the Trump White House.
Okay. Now, what caught your attention about Caitlin Clark?
Caitlin Clark has had a seismic impact on the WNBA ever since she first joined. Merchandise sales increased over 600%, league app engagement over 600%, subscriptions to the league pass over 400%, and the team she plays for, the Indiana Fever, tripled in value. But despite all that success that she's immediately had, the league has basically looked the other way as she's been targeted on a weekly basis.
During her debut season, Caitlin received 17% of all egregious or hard fouls in the league, according to attorney Sean M. Lawn of Origin Advocacy. 17%. Consider that. In the WNBA, one player accounts for about 1/5 of all harmful contact.
Well, tell me what targeting means. What does that mean?
So she is taking on harder fouls and at a higher rate than any of her peers. So it turns out that in her rookie season, she absorbed 17% of all flagrant fouls or hard fouls, more than double the rate of any of her peers. This is not something that you would see occur to any other top star in any other league. And I think a lot of fans are scratching their heads of why the league is allowing this to continue, especially given the economic impact that she's having on the league, which they've so desired for decades.
They just called those fouls. Emlyn states unequivocally that the number would skyrocket if you looked over the video for every one the referees missed. Rebecca Lobo, a former player in this league who now broadcasts games for ESPN, has previously stated the obvious. When it comes to Caitlyn, the referees are allowing much too much. In sports, harsh fouls now occur. Sports include physical play. However, we are no longer simply talking about strong defense when the statistics indicate that you are being struck harder and more often than everyone else, when opponents are obviously making you the target, and when referees continue to allow it to happen. There is a pattern there. Additionally, a trend like that might legally be considered a hostile work environment in the workplace, which is what the WNBA court is.
Yeah, but you're not scratching your head, Sean. What do you think it is?
Right after she was drafted and heading into her rookie year, A'ja Wilson, who is a 3-time MVP of the league, she's won the championship for the Las Vegas Aces. She came out and addressed the attention that Caitlin Clark is getting, and she said it's absolutely has to do with race. And then, quote, it boils her blood when people try and say that it's not about race. And so, unfortunately, it seems like there's a lot of commentary that's being made by players when they're on camera and they know reporters are watching.
This is when things become considerably messier. No one in the league administration appears willing to address the racial component that hangs over all of this. Not just any fan, but WNBA MVP A'ja Wilson said that Caitlyn's attention is all due to her race. She even went so far as to explain that when people dispute it, it makes her angry. Translation: anger is present. It has to do with endorsements. A portion of it has to do with media attention. However, the attorney claims that some of it is affecting how she is handled in court, as does everybody who is paying attention. To make such connections, you need not need a legal degree. The player instantly becomes famous. The player receives media attention and record-breaking agreements. Veterans of the league freely discuss the role of race. The player then begins to engage in significantly more physical play than any other player in the league.
White superstar, is that what you're saying?
I think as you kind of hit on and in the clips leading into this segment, there's a lot of jealousy and animosity. And that can be understood, right? If you've been a VP of the league in the past, yet you were unable to achieve the visibility and perhaps the endorsements that Caitlin Clark has received right out of the gate, it shows that it's normal to assume that there would be some degree of resentment. However, the concern is that resentment is then leading to targeting on the court. It's happening at a higher rate for Caitlin Clark than anyone else. And unfortunately, it's creating a textbook hostile work environment for Caitlin Clark. And under Title VII of the Civil Rights Act, the federal government does have an ability to engage here, should they so choose.
At best, the WNBA is failing to intervene when its greatest attraction is being mistreated on a nightly basis. At worst, they are disregarding what Title VII of the Civil Rights Act may legally classify as discrimination. According to Milan, the workplace is textbook hostile. The problem is that hostile work environments do not just occur in office cubicles. They are applicable in every kind of employment. Sure, even one with a shot clock and scoreboard. Additionally, the federal government has previously intervened in sports. USA Gymnastics, government probes, NFL concussions, the steroid era in baseball, and Larry Nassar. The federal government intervened. The government became engaged in NCAA swimming and gymnastics cases only last year. It is not unheard of. This time, however, it is about racing, safety, and one of the most significant athletes in women's sports at the moment. The crazy thing is that the WNBA can resolve this without even using a subpoena. We are not allowing her be mugged without a whistle, they may tell the referees tomorrow. That is all. That is the solution. When a foul occurs, call it. However, they are not doing it for whatever reason: incompetence, internal politics, or just plain cowardice. And it is the point at which panic sets in. Because Congress is only one news cycle away from poking around if a lawyer goes public and claims that your league's golden goose is functioning in a hostile atmosphere. The WNBA does not want its inaction on player safety to become a bipartisan talking topic on Capitol Hill.
Small number of men and women that actually get to live out their dream of playing a professional sport. And we have grown-ass men and women out here doing whatever they can to try to make sure that does not happen. That is the weirdest thing in the world, but it is what it is, and I'm glad that Caitlin has a great head on her shoulders.
This would not be acceptable in the NBA, which is another unsettling reality. Can you see LeBron in his second season selling out stadiums, putting up stats, and receiving 17% of the league's hard fouls while the referees merely shrugged? Adam Silver would be present at the scorer's table. However, as long as ticket sales continue, it seems to be okay in the WNBA. Please give me a break if you think she has to be harder. She is already making contact that would cause most players to stumble. Being tough does not absolve the league of its obligation to safeguard its players. This is not a hard difficulty video game. There are real regulations in this professional sports league. The viewpoint of jealousy is also genuine. You could feel a certain way if you have been working hard in the league for years and you see Caitlin on the scene and get more endorsements in just 6 months than you have ever had. Human nature is like that. However, human nature does not justify pursuing someone to the extent where it jeopardizes their work or health. This is where the league's silence becomes even more perplexing. Everyone benefits from Caitlin's success, not just herself. Larger crowds, better TV ratings, and increased sales of merchandise. That money does not just disappear. It improves the league's financial performance, which may ultimately result in more pay, better travel, and increased visibility for all players. Why in the world would you let the person responsible for that growth to be abused like a piñata? And yet, here we are. The WNBA behaves as if the problem would go away if they just do not discuss it. It won't. Spoiler warning. In fact, the more they put off dealing with it, the more attention it receives. Attorneys like paper trails, and leadership silence may reveal just as much as a badly drafted press release. And that is precisely why the league finds Sean Milan's remarks problematic. He is more than simply a TV pundit offering his opinions. He is an attorney with experience working for the federal government. He is fluent in the language. He is familiar with the procedure. Additionally, it is intentional for him to use the term difficult work environment in the same sentence as Caitlin Clark. It is a signal. In essence, it is saying, hey, if the league does not repair this, someone else may. Already, the media can smell blood. Because it is a perfect storm, sports talk programs are going toward the rights violation headline. A top player at the center, money, safety, gender, and race. It will undoubtedly increase ratings. Additionally, the political programs start to pick it up when you include the legal aspect. This might have remained a basketball story in the WNBA. It is now straying into the realm of national news. As usual, there is division among fans. The comments made by Caitlin's fans are precisely what one could anticipate. This is absurd. Keep her safe. The anti-Caitlin side, however, is digging in, claiming that every blatant foul is merely tough defense. There is also the segment that enjoys a good drama but does not even like basketball. They are the ones posting videos of her being dressed up with comments like, "So, this is all right now?" And you know what? It is precisely that viral proliferation that increases pressure on the league. Since Title VII is the legal foundation for this, let us take a moment to discuss it. The Civil Rights Act's Title VII prohibits discrimination on the basis of race, color, religion, sex, or national origin in the employment. Indeed, as dull as it may seem, sports leagues fall within this category. Caitlin works on the basketball court. If the league is permitting her to be targeted in a manner that is related to a protected characteristic, in this example, race, that is a legal issue rather than just a public relations one. And there is where the leadership of the WNBA may be in serious danger. Lawyers will undoubtedly be looking through game video, press statements, and perhaps even private conversations if even one player's prior remarks regarding race and animosity are included in a formal complaint. This swings from a sporting scandal to a federal lawsuit if they discover any evidence that suggests she has been treated differently due to her color. The section that casts the league in a negative light. They have instances of how not to deal with this. Take a look at how the NBA keeps its stars safe. The NBA did not shrug and say, part of the game, when a young LeBron began to be hacked to bits. They conveyed a message, changed the officiating, and made it clear that certain hits would not be accepted. We safeguard priceless assets, and our stars are precious. The WNBA is acting in the opposite manner. They are clobbering their most marketable player. And they have not responded at all so far. WNBA and panic are not hyperbole because of this. They are aware that things will become complicated if the federal government ever looks into this matter. Hearings in Congress are messy. Subpoint is disorganized. A public, televised interrogation by politicians who see an easy story is the one thing that sports leagues detest more than a poor season. What does this mean for Caitlyn? To be honest, she is likely to continue playing hard, absorbing the knocks, and letting her game speak. However, if nothing changes, her camp may eventually decide that enough is enough. If that occurs and she is named in a formal complaint, the WNBA's public relations issue would quickly turn into a legal dispute. Here's the worst part. All of this was not inevitable. This is not an insurmountable problem. Call the fouls, enforce the rules, and make it clear that it is inappropriate to target players. However, the league is ready to risk the health, popularity, and civil rights of its top stars. They might lose this bet. And it will not only be a poor look if they do. It may be the type of controversy that causes the league to regress for years. And you know what is really amazing? This has nothing to do with showing preference for Caitlyn. It has to do with fundamental workplace safety. The league has a duty to ensure that its players are not being singled out to the point of possible harm, regardless of your feelings toward her. Furthermore, it is ridiculous that we are even considering a potential federal probe for something as preventable as consistent officiating. Because this is the truth. The WNBA will not merely lose ticket revenue if Caitlyn Clark has a major injury as a result of the league allowing this to continue. They will become less credible. Sponsors will begin to inquire. The hype train is going to derail, and broadcasters will begin to worry. It is a whole different game that no one wants to play once those doubts start to surface. Therefore, a lawyer's description of this workplace as hostile is accurate. Indeed, there is a chance that Title VII will be involved. Furthermore, the WNBA cannot just PR spin this away. Keep your stars safe or be ready for the fallout. It is that easy. If a lawyer's already arguing Caitlyn Clark's rights are being violated, you can know this issue isn't going away quietly. The WNBA may either defend its star or wait for someone else to push them. Which course do you believe they will take? Please share your thoughts in the comments section, subscribe, and enable all notifications so you don't miss anything. We'll see you in the next one after you click the video on the screen.